Hello, welcome to SwitchedOn, Paul speaking, and today we're having a very special look at a game that's coming out on the Nintendo Switch in a couple of weeks on October the 6th, and that is Charterstone, the Digital Edition. This comes from Acrom Digital, superb board games, digital conversions they've done for the Nintendo Switch, and this is going to be another one. This is out, as I say, on October the 6th. It's going to set you back $25, but there's looks like an American launch discount down to $20. No such luck as of the time of writing for the UK, where it's going to be £22.49. No launch discount shown at the moment. As I say, this is a digital board game, but I've got the actual physical board game as well as a keen board game fan. And it's one of those absolutely beautiful games from Stegmaier Games. Jamey Stegmaier, the designer, and his company Stegmaier Games just make these absolutely stunning board games. If you're a board game fan at all, then you're probably going to have heard of Stegmaier Games. But they did Scythe and Viticulture, and they just produced these beautiful games. The components, just absolutely stunning. Have like metal coins, beautiful resources, just like the finest stuff. They are quite pricey, but you don't mind paying the price when the quality's there. And it's just an all style over substance. The games are excellent as well. So Charterstone, we're going to have a little play through this. It's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have a quick go of the first round, show you the rules, tell you what this game's all about, and then we'll have an extended playthrough that if you want to see more, you can carry on watching. First job here is to pick one of the charter leaders. There's 6 of them in convenient colours. There's purple, black, green, red, blue, and a yellow. And each will start with a different resource. So the purple charter here, their sort of speciality is pumpkins. Black one is coal. Green one is sort of a woodland charter. That's wood. Red is brick. The blue is iron. And the yellow one is sort of grain food. The idea of this game is to build your charter up by adding new buildings to it. And it's basically a worker placement game, so you take your available workers, send them out, take a resource or do an action, and it's the person with the most points at the end. But there are a few twists in Charterstone that we're going to tell you about. So we're going to pick, it doesn't really matter too much at the start. I'm currently the green charter in my current campaign. Let's go red, that's fine. And you can choose AI or local players, and it has got an online mode as well. We'll go with 2 mediums and an easy. We don't want to add any more players. We're going to go with that as it is, as it loads up. Now, the physical game of Charterstone, if you can imagine a board game. You unpack the components every time you want to play it, put the board out, and the game's the same every time you play it. Not so with Charterstone. Charterstone is what's getting more popularly known as a legacy game. We'll skip through a little bit of story as it tells you all about what you need to do in the game. Let's see if we can zoom out a little bit here and show you the map. So the digital game sort of mirrors the board game quite well in terms of sort of aesthetics and look. And this is how the board would look. You've kind of got this big open map divided into 6 different charters, with a little pathway between each section now. And on the physical board game, what happens during this game, it's played over 12 campaigns. So you play the game in the sort of story mode 12 times. Let's just zoom back out again. And each game you play, you unlock new things. So it could be new components that are hidden in secret little boxes inside the box, or new cards, or even new action spaces, which come on like a sheet of stickers. You peel the stickers off, stick them on the board, make a permanent change to the board, and then the next time you play the game, there's a new action space on the board to play with. Now, the board that comes in the box is 2-sided, so you can play through 2 campaigns. And when the campaign is completed, you can just carry on playing with the board that you finally ended up with. So it's kind of where there's an advantage in the digital version, is that you can play this game over and over as many times as you want on a fresh board. You can actually even save a board state as a separate board. So if you quite like how you've finished up with one of your boards, you can save it separately and play that in any of the modes you know, anytime you want. So that's a cool thing as well. So anyway, let's get into the first part of the game here. So the first thing we need to do is to build our first building. These are the available spaces we've got in our charter, these highlighted ones. And this is our first basic building. You can build it anywhere, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have an effect. We're going to build our building now. We get to name our charter. We're just going to keep it as Sebastian's charter. And all the other characters will go and build their first buildings. This is what's called the Charterstone, and it will determine, first of all, who goes first. So it's actually landed on us. We will be lucky enough to get the first go. The interface here is quite nice in terms of how it looks, but there's a lot going on. There's a hell of a lot going on. And I think they've done a great job in conveying that as best as they can, but there is a lot going on and there is a lot of information to convey, and it can get a little bit confusing. But I would say that the interface, they've worked really hard on making it as clear as possible, but you really have to, it takes a few games to figure out what's going on. The first action we get to do here is pick one of our workers. We start the game with 2 workers, these 2 little blue meeples, and we get to put them on a building and take an action. So we pick our first worker. We're going to zoom in a little bit here. And we choose where we want to put him. So we can go here to our building. If you press the minus button, you can get a description of what the building does. So if we go put our meeple on this building here, we would get 1 metal, and that would be our turn over. We can also put our meeple on anybody else's building and take that action. So for example, if we went here, we would get a grain. If we went here, we would get a wood. You can kind of see an overview if we zoom in a little bit more. That's as far as we can zoom in. But you can see at the bottom of the sort of hexagon there, there's a little icon with a green arrow. So that means we take 1 grain. There we take 1 wood. This chart here, we take 1 pumpkin. What's a little bit different about this game is there's no sort of rounds as such. Not traditionally. It's another slight difference in Charterstone. And what actually happens is everybody just plays as many workers as they have available. And you just, when you've got no more workers left to play, the only move you can do is retrieve them on your turn. But everybody just carries on playing until the bar at the top is complete. Now, if you look at the top row of icons, sort of the big UI element sort of to the right, there's 3 little circles, a crown, sort of a scroll, and a boat. Then one next to that, if we go up there actually, and I move my marker across. So here, where my A marker is now, the little sort of blue flame icon. This here is the progress track. And when you take certain actions on the board, you move along the progress track. And when you get to the end of the progress track, that's when the game is over. But there's no sort of rounds as such. You just keep playing until that progress track reaches the end. There's also these 5 buildings, in the middle of the realm. And these are like common buildings. Anybody can go here again. And these are slightly more powerful actions, and they're more costly. So this action here in the middle allows you to open one of the crates in the game. Now in the actual board game, these would be like hidden boxes. In here, they are sort of crates that you open and get new cards, new characters, new buildings. But it's quite costly. It's going to cost you 2 influence, 4 coins to open that crate. If you look at the left hand side where all the characters are, if we go down, our character at the bottom is unfortunately called Sebastian, the same as the red one. That's why I thought we were going first, but with the blue Sebastian. If you look at the bottom there, you've got our name, and then to the right in the sort of the big blue block is our score. We're all on 0 at the moment. Underneath there, it shows our 2 meeples, how many coins we've got, how many influence points we've got. Now, we can spend our influence to do different actions during the game, as you'll see as we go on. And when you run out of influence, you kind of you would have to get some more, but you're basically not able to take any of the more powerful actions. And then the final below that is just a list of all the resources we've got, and we've got nothing at the moment. Let's get into the game and try and explain some stuff as we go along. First action we're going to put our meeple here. Take metal. Metal is the resource we're most interested in as the blue charter. Now this is quite a nice feature, and one that more board games should do, that the AI moves at the bottom are sort of shown in these icons. It's sort of that little marker moves along, showing you what the AI are doing. It moves a little bit too fast to explain it properly, but once you get a hang of the game, it's really useful to see what the AI are doing. The other unique thing in this game, as I explained about you sending your workers out and having to retrieve them if you lose them all, there is one way to get them back. And that is if you put your meeple on a space where there's already a meeple. So if you look at this red building here, the red meeple's already gone now. I can still go there, take the action of taking one brick, but it would send the red meeple back to his owner, and he would be available to use again. I can also send my blue meeple to my own building here and get my own worker back. So basically, it's about efficiency of moves. You don't really want to run out of meeples and have to retrieve them, because you can't do anything on a retrieval move. You know, you're basically wasting a turn to call all your workers back. So I'm going to send my meeple there to the same building, which swaps them out of my other meeple, which means I get another turn. And I also collect another metal. Now, I'm not doing this blindly. The next thing I'll show you is some objectives in the game. Press up on the D-pad and your marker's going to move up to that top row of icons and allow you to move along it. I will admit it's not the most intuitive. I'd imagine on a PC it's far easier with a mouse. And I have got this on iPad as well, and it's obviously, again, slightly easier just to touch these icons. But on a Switch, it's a little bit more cumbersome. It's sometimes hard to know where your marker is at times, so it takes a little while to get used to it. But let's have a look at these markers on top. Obviously got a pause menu there. This is each person. You can sort of get an overview of their state, and as you can see there, I couldn't use my icon. It's a little bit tricky to move across, which is a bit of a shame. Next one here is the cards in your possession. So you can see I've got a crate. You get a crate generally when you build a building. So when we built our first building, we get this crate to open, which we can do by taking that Charterstone action from the common buildings. We've got these objectives. So each person can aim for these objectives. These are random for each match or each game that you play. What you would do is you would claim these objectives, and by claiming them, you get more points. So there's the 3 objectives at the moment. The first one is to have 6 coins. As soon as you've got 6 coins, you can claim that objective and take the points. Second one here is called Helping Hands, and it's to have 2 assistant cards, which we'll have a look at those in a minute. And the final objective there is to pay your dues, so pay the influence for a quota action at least 3 times. We'll have a look at that in a second as well. This is the quota action, so you can trade in some resources to get points. So this one here that's highlighted, I can trade in 1 coin for 3 points, and I put one of my markers there, which would fill that times 1 action, which means the next person that wants to use that would need to spend 2 coins to get 3 points, and so on. So it's advantageous to be the first one to take these quota actions. And there's different ones there, so you can leave a card there to get 3 points, and again the next person would need to leave more. As you can see, there's a lot of moving parts to this game. This here is the advancement mat. This is kind of a common list of cards that you can purchase, and these are different things that you can they're all different things basically. So firstly, we've got it's what's called a helper card here, an assistant card. So they give you different powers. So this one here, the Archivist. So whenever you use the market, you may gain 1 reputation. Then you've also got some crates that you can buy or take from the advancement mat. Some more assistants. You've got a longshoreman and a treasurer. And again, they do different things. So whenever you gain reputation, gain 1 victory point. And whenever you use the treasury, you can regain 1 of your influence. That's a really nice card to have in your possession. So we've got one worker left to use, one meeple. Let's open a crate actually. So we're going to send a meeple to this centre building here, the Charterstone building in the Commons. It's going to cost me 2 influence, 4 coins, and so we need to have a crate card to be able to use it. The benefit of it, we get 5 victory points, we get a progress point, so move that progress marker along, and we get to open our crate. So we're going to do that. We're going to go here. You can see the bar moving along the bottom as each of these actions is taken. We're going to open that crate. We get 5 points. We move the advancement marker along. And we open the crate to see what's in there. So we get a building card, the refinery. So it's going to cost 1 influence, and the benefit we get is a metal and a victory point. We get the iron market building. So it's going to cost, you can pay 1 metal and you get 2 coins back. So basically you're selling your metal at the iron market. And we've got a new rule here. Personas. And here's the first persona we get, a prospector. After using a building with metal cost, gain 1 victory point. So basically it complements this one. So where we're spending 1 metal, we get 2 coins. If we've got this prospector persona active, we also get a victory point when we do that. You have to sort of take those persona cards as well. All that crate did is basically unlock those cards into our possession. We haven't paid for them yet. We haven't played them. We've just got them in our possession. So quite a heavy turn there. And I do apologise. I know this is going to be a little bit tricky to follow, which is why we're going to play a full round of it. But it does come with a really good rule book. We'll have a look at that in a second. And the tutorial is quite decent as well. It walks you through sort of the first early turns. So we've run out of workers here. That's basically what we're saying here. We've got no workers. The only action we've got available is to retrieve all our workers. So we do that. We get both of them back. And that's the end of our turn. Now the way Charterstone works is the first game you play, so the first of the 12 legacy games, which we're in now, is quite a basic game. There's not a lot of action spaces, although more will be built as we carry this round on. But sort of the second legacy game, the third, the fourth, the fifth, there's a lot more going on, a lot more action spaces, a lot more things to do, a lot more cards. So with our next worker, here we can sell any 1 resource and get a coin. We've got 2 iron at the moment. This building is not available because it needs a resource and a coin. We've got no coins at the moment, so we can't use that one. So let's have a look at our cards that we've got. Maybe we can play one of these cards. These are the 2 cards that we got when we opened that crate. The refinery and the iron market. Now to build these coins, you need to first have enough of the building materials to build them. You can see those in the top left hand corner of the card. We've got metal, wood and brick to build the refinery, and metal, is that grain and a pumpkin? Sorry, I'm sitting quite a way away from a small telly. I can't see exactly what that is, but it looks like it might be coal actually. So metal, coal and a pumpkin. So you need those resources before you could build the buildings. So our next aim, as we've got 2 metal, our next aim should be to try and get wood, brick, coal or a pumpkin to be able to build those buildings. So let's do that. Let's take our worker and let's see. Now we need to put him on a space where we don't really want to give the AI back their meeples, because you know you're basically helping them out. So we want to go somewhere where there's not a meeple already there. So like this wood space here, we can go here, claim a wood. There's no other meeple, so that's quite a good turn for us. What you'll get as you get more buildings built over time, what will happen is you'll start to anticipate where the AI are going to move or where your opponents are going to move, and you'll put your meeple there in the hope that the AI does take that action and give you your meeple back, and that way you can sort of keep your turns rolling without having to retrieve all your meeples. So the AI has just opened a crate. They've got the brick market, they've got the kiln, And they've got the new persona of a mason. And again, they can't use those cards yet until they can build them and put them into play. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here. This is just a very quick overview of Charterstone. I will be reviewing it for the 6, so keep your eye out for that. What I'm going to do is carry this game on in a second video. So if you want to carry on and see the rest of this game played out, please follow that link, and it'd be great to have you watch that with me. But until then, I will thank you all for watching. This has been Charterstone from Acrom Digital on the Nintendo Switch. Do love my board games, and this is shaping up to be another cracking board game conversion on the Switch, and really, really nice if you're into this sort of thing. But until then, if you watch the other video, thank you. If not, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.